power chords. That's what rock and roll is kind of made out of, in my opinion, as far as guitar-based popular music. You really got to know your power chords. And a lot of my students just don't really seem to get it. They don't hear it. Like here's I'm going to try it like an AC/DC thing here. Power chords. Or here's the Kinks. Savage. Here's one by Kiss. I'll see if I can do this. Here's one by the Cars. I wonder if there's more. Probably. Here's one by the Scorpions. Okay, let's do a couple more. How about this? Here's one by the Stones. I bet there's more. How about this? Yeah. Let's do an idea that you might have heard the Ventures do, like. Something like that, all right? So power chord generally is like a two-note chord. It's the root and the fifth. So if you're doing A, it'd be an A note. That's how you know what key you're in. You gotta know E, F, G, A. 5th fret, 6th string, A note. And add this guy on top. You're done. So that's a root and a fifth. Fifth is the fifth note in a scale. Do, re, mi, fa, do, re, mi, fa, sol. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. How about like a Johnny Cash song? That's kind of a power chord. It's the fifths. Here's like, let me do another one. I'm going to play, I'm going to add some maybe rhythm with the ring finger. I'm going to do like 6 days on the road and I'm going to make it home tonight. Yeah, man. So I would really encourage you to learn your power chords, man. That's how, if you want to rock just a little bit. So they can be based on the 6th and 5th strings, or they jump over one set of strings to the 5th string and 4th string. So I'm at 5th fret, 7th fret, 5th fret, 7th fret of the next door neighbor strings. You can actually go one more over. Gets you a higher pitch sound. That'd be a G5. Same frets. Check it out one more time. A5, D5, G5, back to D5, and A5. those are musically related somehow. Or you could do it like this: 1, 4, 5. Kind of like the Blitzkrieg Bop by the Ramones. See what I'm doing? It's the same shape. Jump it over. Now go up 2 frets. It's kind of an L shape, like the letter L. And that would be your 1, 4, 5, which is the most basic thing as far as playing blues, rock and roll, country, pop, rockabilly, surf, whatever kind of simple folk, general popular music. The 1, 4, 5. Those are your 3 primary chords of the key. Let's say you wanted to play in the key of G. Just haul it down 2 frets that way, call a tow truck, hook up your hand and have it yanked down there, and you do the same thing. It's exactly the same thing. Key of G, that's your 1, 4, 5, G, C, D. How about, let's see. What am I going to do? Yeah, that'd be Psycho by the Sonics. Probably in the wrong key. Let's say you take it 2 more frets down. Down. That way's down. That's F, B flat, C. First fret, F. B flat, C. But you don't have to know the names of those chords. I would like you to. But if you just find that first chord, you're just going to jump it over. Let's say it's up 1 fret. Or 1 more fret. 1 more fret. Same thing. It just keeps going. Again, some of my students have no idea what I'm talking about. They're completely baffled. They've never heard any sort of rock and roll ever. I suspect they might have grown up like looking at their phones or screens or iPads and never really thought about it, about what this noise is. You know, maybe it's computer generated, kind of like, what do you call it, beats with tinkling keyboard sounds or scraping or booming or banging or some sort of chanting, sampled sounds. But they never really thought about, like, you know, are people actually playing this, or what is the source of all this noise? Are there, you know, how does sound happen? It's all maybe on the phone. It's not really in the real world, so they don't have that hands-on experience of like maybe playing a cello where you press down on a wooden neck on a string and you take the bow across it and it vibrates and makes that sound resonate. They just maybe missed out on that, which is, I'm just trying to process that. All right, it's all right, man. That's why I teach, you know. I will meet my students where they are. But, you know, I've said it many times, when I realized that the power chord is movable, I'm like, hey, man, I saw the opportunity that I can do my own thing with this. I can create my own patterns. And, you know, you can make it as weird as you want. You know, the 1, 4, 5 is kind of like pretty pretty safe structurally. But what if you didn't care about that and you wanted to get more weird with it? I did write one that is completely atonal. It goes like this. Something like that. Just annoying and bizarre. Like, make it as weird as you can. Get weird, man. I mean, you could do it all with a computer, software. You could just generate random noise, AI and all that, whatever. Whatever, man. I would prefer to do it myself I would prefer to be hands-on with my guitar. Pressing down on the strings, hitting the strings, having to tune it, all that stuff. But, I'm probably from the old time when we actually used real wooden guitars, so whatever. So anyhow, let me give you a couple more power chords. I realize we've covered this on this channel, but the first power chord I talk to people about is the E5, which is your fat E string. Like when your pick comes down to hit your guitar, kind of the first string it's going to meet is the 6th string, low E. That's why it's really popular. That's my theory. So if you add your pointer finger on 2nd fret of the 5th string, hit those 2 chords. It's just that big boom sound. So I was kind of, in my last video, I was doing the 8th note rhythm, like kind of the steady chugging. Those are 8th notes. So I was talking about laying the side of my hand on the bridge. This is something my students struggle with, something fierce. They come in with kind of weird angles and holding the pick kind of twisted and kind of they don't know how to get their arm in position to actually strum. And I try and I draw pictures and I come in and move their arm and kind of say, move out of the way, I'll put my arm here. Let me show you how. But somehow you have to, this is how easy it is. Lay your guitar flat, relax, take your picking hand and just drop it. You're pretty much there. Maybe I'll scoot it over a little bit. All right. So I'm just ready to hit like the A string with my pick. Very relaxed. Or you could even do some down up picking. I like having my hand right there and being very relaxed. If your arm is kind of twisted and you're kind of grinding, trying to find those strings, and it's like, wow, we got to fix that. So you have to connect with your instrument somehow. And you'll find your way. But it might be awkward for some. Everybody's different, the way they feel it. Speaking of feeling it, you should feel that bridge. And your pick should feel the string. So sometimes if a student's missing the strings a lot, I'll have them just like take your pick and kind of grind into that A string. Just push, push. Feel it, feel the tension of the A string. And then maybe hit it. So somehow you have to get the mechanics of your picking hand to line up with your fretting hand. And the power chords are about the easiest thing. So remember, it's a movable shape. It's super duper simple. You can kind of make geometric shapes. Like here's a square. And you can kind of make an X pattern. You should be able to jump. It's kind of like hopscotch. If you can't jump and can't move, if your hand is kind of that sluggish, you got to wake up your hand. You got to get some dexterity. You got to get that hand functioning. 4 fingers are going to do 4 frets generally. Yeah, just get those fingers working. So, just some general observations. I should be working on a bass part right now, so I'm going to do that. I start lessons early today. I hope they show up. If they don't, I'm going to have to boot them. Kick them out. They're done. Most teachers tolerate 0 absences. I have to get a little more like that. All right, good luck with your guitar. Let me know if any of this helps. I hope it does. Thank you for checking out my channel. Please subscribe. I appreciate it.